So today we are going to be talking about parallel and perpendicular lines. In order to do that, we want to talk about slope as well. So with slope, there are different ways to describe slope. Slope is rise over run, so that's one way of describing it. We can also describe it as the change in y over the change in x. And to signify change, we use a triangle symbol. So the change in y over the change in x. And then we can also describe that as a formula. So change in y over change in x could be y2 minus y1 over our x2 minus x1. And we're going to be using this one when we have points that we want to find the slope for. So we also have some figures here that we can use slope to describe. Now, when we're talking about slope, we can talk about an increasing slope, a decreasing slope, a constant slope, or really no slope at all. So I like to think about this as a roller coaster. So when we're thinking about a roller coaster, I'm thinking about going uphill versus downhill. So like on this line right here, if I'm on a roller coaster, my roller coaster is going uphill. It's climbing that hill. And when we're going uphill, that is increasing. So this slope is increasing or positive. Increasing and positive. We'll put positive up here. Positive. Now at this point, I climb, and then all of a sudden I'm dropping. I'm falling on my roller coaster. I'm going downhill. So this one, because I'm going downhill, we are decreasing or have a negative slope. Now, at this point, if you're on a roller coaster, you're just cruising, right? You're not going uphill, you're not going downhill, you're on even playing field. So we call that a constant slope. And with constant slopes, that's actually a slope of 0 because we're going 0 up or 0 down. So slope of 0. Then at this point over here, if I'm thinking about a roller coaster, again, like over here, I'd just be coasting, right? If I'm on a roller coaster and all of a sudden I'm like going this way, that's not going to be good for me, right? I'm going off the track at that point. So if we're going off the track, we're falling, and that roller coaster is going to be breaking up into 1,000 different pieces. And so many pieces, right, that the roller coaster we say is going to be undefined. Okay, we're not even going to define that roller coaster because it's breaking up so much. So, again, let me erase these little dots this way. It's not confusing here. So, like I said, roller coaster is going to break up into a million little pieces. It's going to be so broken up, it's going to be undefined for us. So, we're going to say that slope, when it's a vertical line, is undefined. Okay, there's no defined slope for it. Now, for example 1, when we're using our graphs to find the slope, I like to count, especially with graphs, just my rise over my run. So here, if I'm counting for A and B, I'm going to count my rise, which is 1, 2, 3. So I rose 3. So rise over run. So that was a rise of 3 and a run of 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 out of 4 is my slope here. Now for CD, I'm rising, or, well, we could go either way. We can run it first or rise. So if I run 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like. I'm going 4 to the right. And then I'm going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So because I'm going down 5, I'm going to say that 5 is negative because down is a negative direction. So again, when I'm talking about rise over my run, my rise, I'm really falling or going down 5, and then my run is 4. And that makes sense because, like I said, if you're thinking about a roller coaster, I'm going downhill on the roller coaster, where for AB, I was going uphill on the roller coaster. So AB was positive, where CD is negative. Now for EF, EF is constant. Now, if you're not remembering that or you're not sure, you're like, oh, I don't know if it's 0, I don't know if it's something else, undefined. What you can do is you can always count. So again, when we're talking about rise over run, I'm running 1, 2, 3, And I'm not rising any. I'm not going up or down. So that's just 0. And 0 divided by 3 is 0. So 0 for my horizontal lines or my constant lines. And finally, HG. HG is that vertical. Again, if you count your rise over your run for this one, I'm rising 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm running 0. I'm not going over any. Now, at this point, if I have 8 over 0, and I'm like, oh, isn't that 0 just like the other one? No. What you can do is you can always test it on your calculator. If I'm entering an 8 divided by 0, 8 divided by 0, it's actually going to tell you it's undefined. Now, if you're using a physical calculator, a lot of times they'll give you an error message, and that error message also means undefined. Where before, if I try that 0 divided by 3, it does give me 0. But anytime you're dividing by 0 on the bottom, that's going to be an undefined. We can't divide by 0. So that's just going to be undefined, and that's going to be my answer. Now, the reason behind that is I like to tell kids, like, when we're dividing, like if I were to divide 8 divided by 2, that really means I'm taking 8 pieces and dividing it into 2 groups. So 2 groups, and there's 4 in each group, right? If I did 8 divided by 0, I'm taking 8 pieces and trying to divide that into 0 groups. Well, I can't do that. I can't make my 8 pieces disappear, like even if I throw them away or eat them or whatever, right? They're always going to be somewhere, somehow in the universe, whether that's going to be in a different form, whether it's going to be in tinier pieces, like whatever. It's always going to exist in some form. We can't create matter and we can't destroy matter, right? That's one of the whole things. We can't destroy things. It's going to exist somehow, somewhere. So I can't separate that into 0 pieces. So that's why we can't divide by 0.